I know how every day it's easy to get lost in the backcrap crazy stuff that Trump and his minions do or say, but I just want to let you know you're not alone. And in fact, Minnesota has your back. See right here, Minnesotans look out for their neighbors. And there's a sign that says, love, not hate, makes America great. You have other Minnesotans, holding up signs with butterflies, say defend, waving the American flag. And again, you're not alone, especially if you're watching this and you just feel like everything's gone to the Trumpers. No, you're not. In fact, people can see it. People are out protesting today. This is Minnesota. There are multiple states, multiple cities resisting Trump. You can read some of the signs there. And for me, it's important for me to see this as well, because I just feel like, guys, isn't anyone doing anything? No, I mean, you can see people taking the streets right there. Here's another one that says, today, with the wind chill struggling to reach zero, so it's cold at times, thousands marched down Lake Street in South Minneapolis, protesting actions of ICE. Some of the signs were ICE out of Minnesota. Minnesotans know ICE is slippery and dangerous. It's time to de-ICE. Immigrants are not the problem, right? Another person writes, ICE naughty and not nice. Another one writes, stop traumatizing our students. Kids can't learn in fear. So I just want to make it clear, guys. I know I have to go through the other stuff that's going on, but again, you're not alone, and Minnesotans got your back. I'm from Oregon, but I've known a lot of people from Minnesota, and cool people. This is also going on as well. I thought this was really interesting. I guess people are messaging Congress like crazy these days, and the key word at the moment is affordability. And if the Trump people don't address this kind of stuff, that they're done for. I mean, this is how it works, right? You address the concerns of the people, and the Trump people just lie nonstop, and the stuff that they're doing, which I'll show you in a moment here, is absolutely batcrap crazy. So I mentioned this in the last video. U.S. apprehends another oil tanker amid Trump's Venezuela blockade. This one was from the Washington Post, and they were mentioning also as a Chinese vessel, which is kind of crazy. I mean, I don't know what Trump's trying to do here. I'll just read how they say it. They say, a person familiar with Venezuela's oil industry told the Washington Post that the tanker apprehended was carrying oil from a China-based trader with a history of taking Venezuelan crude oil to Chinese refineries. The person spoke on condition of anonymity to discuss private business matters. So obviously this is going to be very, very volatile situation. I mean, the whole thing's volatile, but I don't think this is going to end well. I'll put it that way. Secretary Noem then, right? Kristi Noem is tweeting out, in a pre-dawn action earlier this morning on December 20th, the U.S. Coast Guard, with support of the Department of War, apprehended an oil tanker. Let me put a little of this. But basically, they're not denying. Like, literally, they're showing you the videos. So they got to, like, if you want to watch the whole thing, it's like 7-minute video. We saw something like this before with the first tanker, but I guess we're boarding these things. And before, when Trump made a statement out, and he's like, oh, we're going to take the oil. It's like, so ridiculous. But this is where we're at. I just want to show you. Because, remember, we got people protesting in the streets. You have people messaging the Trump people, like affordability being the top, issue effectively. And the Trump people are just like, okay, well, we're going to go and start something in Venezuela. And as Hegseth's tweeting out the same thing, right? So Hegseth says, President Trump has made clear, blockade the sanctioned oil tankers departing from or to Venezuela, whatever. I'll just say this, guys. I don't support Maduro. I want to make that clear. It's not like, if just because I don't want to commit U.S. forces to another place doesn't mean I necessarily support, said place. It's just we're stretched too far. We're stretched too thin, and our own people are really, really struggling. And then when you see sort of what the Trump people care about, like this was in Political today, Trump AI czar David Sachs started to worry the industry. There was a whole thing on, if you followed it, Trump signed an executive order basically saying, hey, states, you can't make your rules or laws protecting people from the AI industry, of all these various things that are happening with that. And then David Sachs basically wrote the executive order, and people in the industry are pretty ticked, even though it may benefit some people, right? But the idea, though, basically, and it's both industry and state, is when you try to ram through your ideas without working with other people, listening to other people, you're gonna ruffle a lot of feathers. And it's not just like one or two people. It's like the whole country, various states, all kinds of stuff. This is sort of the way that they operate. they operate with a bunch of greedy individuals that only care about themselves, and this is completely unsustainable. You see it. And look at what they're talking about today, and I want you just to point out more the money aspects of this stuff. This is the Energy Secretary talking about AI and energy. Listen.
Right now, by accelerating this, is accelerating a force that will drive down electricity prices and help make sure America leads in the AI race against China. AI is going to be transformative technology, but we can't be second place. If China is well ahead of the United States in AI, they will become economically and militarily the dominant power in the world.
And just last month, the Energy Department announced it will be giving a $1 billion loan to Constellation to help restart the Unit 1 reactor. How important is it for the government to be part of all of this?
Constellation and Microsoft are the real players here. Microsoft is the buyer. They want this electricity from this power plant. Constellation's the operator of this power plant. We're just helping enable that happen a little bit faster.
So that's what they're talking about. And if you heard the details of this thing, they stated very clearly, right? You talk a couple different companies, Constellation and Microsoft. This is all about AI. Oh, we got to beat China, et cetera. Hey, and I got no problem with the USA, and actually I would like the USA to do well against other countries by putting out good products that benefit people. But the way that we're doing, we're acting like this AI is beneficial to everyone when the whole goal, again, is to replace you at your job. That's the goal. What they want to do is they want to fire as many people as they possibly can. The people who stay at whatever companies are going to be overworked, and then they'll give you AI assistance if you're not yet replaced. And then the crazy thing about this is all built on debt. They literally say it in there. It's like, hey, it's $1 billion loan. Wow, fantastic. Built on debt. And it was interesting that the day that this thing comes out, the White House is tweeting out about this debt and the AI and we have to beat China stuff. This was actually in Bloomberg today. There's getting to be way too much debt in this energy and AI space. It's all a house of cards, and I just don't think it's sustainable. And people are going to be real concerned when their bills go up. Check this out. This is someone tweeting out here regarding Michigan. This is all over the country. Things are happening. They say, Michigan's Public Service Commission, which is supposed to be a voice of the people over the utilities, were all forced to pay for power. Great. Voted 3-0 to fast track without comment, a project that will more than double the electrical burden. So let me speak for all of us. We've heard our rates hiked for unreliable power. This is BS, right? And you're going to hear about these data centers, for forever. It's pretty nuts. And then you're going to get into the immigration stuff. And I just want to mention, like, any one of things that issues, be it affordability, be it energy, be it AI regulation, be it action in Venezuela, right? This is all the kind of stuff where Trump and his people just seem to make like the wrong turn and don't care about anyone. They're greedy individuals like the David Sachs individual who basically just come up with a policy that only benefits them solely. And it's just unsustainable. Here's another thing, and this is more ICE-related stuff, but I do want to talk about everything. This is from Mitch. Mitch says, LSU nursing grad detained by ICE for 6 months may self-deport. Quote, I feel hopeless all the time. Tell me, again, why it's good for America to deport this nurse. She came here when she was 6. She is being trained to care for people and save lives. And, it's hard to go over this stuff, but I just want you to know, because there's so many stories like this. I looked at this one. It just says LSU nursing grad detained by ICE for 6 months. It's this whole thing's crazy. And so she's been here since she's age 6. I think she's probably 22, something like that. So she's been in the USA quite a long time. And my understanding is we need more nurses, and like the actions that the Trump people are taking is insane. But the way that they're doing it is everything is on quota. So they just try to basically arrest people, as many as possible. Here's another one, and this is in Colorado. This is a Senator Hickenlooper talking about it. Listen to this.
Hey, John Hickenlooper here. We just finished an oversight visit here on the ICE detention facility in Aurora. We met with 2 young sisters. One is 18, still in high school. The other's 20, has a full scholarship at community college. About a month ago, DHS sent these 2 young women a letter requesting they appear for a routine check-in as they seek asylum. When they showed as instructed, ICE officers immediately arrested them. Now, this is the kind of cruelty we're seeing across Colorado and across the country. These young women have no criminal record. They both have active asylum claims. They're students here in Colorado. They have a parent who is a U.S. citizen and a veteran in the Navy. They've been in detention for over a month. Thanksgiving, now it looks like they're going to miss Christmas. They're sitting in a cell instead of working in school. President Trump is spending billions of dollars to arrest people with no criminal history, while so many people struggle to afford their groceries and their rent and their health care. So we're going to do everything we can to get the release of these two young women. This administration wants to intimidate us and intimidate them, and we're not going to let them. We're going to keep fighting.
And I just think it's important to see that there's multiple voices out there. And, again, from the words of Minnesotans look out for their neighbors, right? And I think there's a lot of people who do that. Now, while this is going on, it's actually a really complicated issue. And then while all this is going on, there's an interesting perspective I want to share with you from the AFL-CIO, so basically the unions. See what they have to say. First, it says mass deportations don't protect working people. They weaken labor standards, silence organizing, and empower bad employers. An attack on immigrant workers is an attack on all workers. Well, listen to what he has to say here.
And when you think about what this country is doing to TPS recipients by pulling the rug out, while they are contributing to this society, it only will drive people further into the shadows. Our country cannot look at this issue as just an immigration issue. It is also a labor law issue. I can tell you, I served 14 years as my union's organizing director, and I have spoken to the worst of the worst cases of worker misclassification and wage theft. When allowed to be used because this country has yet to adopt labor law reform in my lifetime, it is impossible for our membership and for U.S.-born construction workers to compete in such a low-road economy. And with the current administration's plan to strip nearly 1 million workers of the protections that allow them to work legally in this country, we run the risk of running 1 more million workers into that shadow economy, which has destroyed working conditions for our members and for working people here in the United States.
And I just want you to hear a different perspective, as this is a multifaceted issue. It's very complicated, and as I always talk about with this stuff, I'm happy to have honest and real conversations about these things. The way the Trump people do it, they lie about the numbers. They just want to bring in a bunch of guns essentially and scare everyone while they run their scammy things all based on debt or whatever. And then on top of that, not only are we, disrupting life in USA, many Americans are leaving. This is in the Wall Street Journal today. So I didn't even know about this one. These air traffic controllers are leaving their jobs and heading to Australia. Dozens of controllers have departed the U.S. to take positions overseeing air traffic in Australia. Everybody knows about it. And it went on to say, I guess people on the internet are talking about this thing, especially if you're in this industry, you probably know about this stuff. And I understand. I get it, right? If Trump and Musk come in, they want to overwork you, they want to fire everyone, things are uncertain. Remember, we just went through the shutdown, and just the whole thing is awful. And this is the way people are feeling. They're just I'm just going to Australia of all places, which is, I get that, right? If Australia's going to treat you better, that's how it's going to be. And this is something that we need to do better in the USA. If you want to, build up the country, build up the nation, you want to be welcoming to people, and you want to attract the best and the brightest. And I show you multiple things. Minnesota gets it. Looks like people in Colorado get it. And various states get it. But many of the Trumpers, they're kind of lost in la la land. And this is a lot about leadership. And it's sort of why, I know some people in our community sometimes say, oh, Chris, you got to be more mean to MAGA. You got to scream and yell more. And I don't believe in that. I think we need to build bridges, not burn bridges. That's my opinion. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. I do appreciate your time. And I'll catch you on the next video.